Let's speak to Jenny for change. A coach and a working mum. She joins us from central London. And from Bedford, we can speak to Mike Buchanan, leader of the political party Justice for Men and Boys. Great to talk to you both. Thank you very much indeed for joining us here on Sky News this afternoon. Mike, to you, first of all, can working women be successful mums?
They can be, but at the end of the day, time, women like men only have so much time, and time invested by mothers or fathers, for that matter, in their careers is time not invested in their children, and that's one of the great sources of stress for women, I think. And it's quite appalling that the whole of the government machine is intent on driving women into work. And it's been known since at least the year 2000, 16 years ago, that men and women have a different attitude to work. Dr. Catherine Hakim in 2000 published her preference theory. She's a world-renowned sociologist, and her research showed that while 4 in 7 British men are work-centred, only 1 in 7 British women is. So all this talk of women can have it all and women should have these great careers and so on, that's the 1 in 7 work-centred women who are basically bullying the 6 in 7 who don't want to be treated like workhorses.
OK, Jenny, your response to that?
Oh, well, I've got lots to say about that, because I think this thing about women being bullied into work is not quite right. And I think actually it is up to women to choose. Women can be stay-at-home mums, women can work part-time, women can work full-time and work their way up the ladder, and they have the choice to do so. And those who want to should be given the opportunity to work their way up the ladder and get to the very pinnacle of their career if they wish to. There are lots of women who are desperately unhappy at home and would love to be in the workplace, and there are some women who are unhappy at work and would love to be at home. I think people need to be able to make those choices. And I can tell you something, I am a coach, I work with lots of working women, and there are so many women who are successful. They're juggling home and family and doing so very happily and successfully.
You're shaking your head,
I'm
Mike.
sorry, but every survey of which I'm aware tells us that working mothers would rather spend less time at work and more time with their children. The idea that this whole narrative about work being fulfilling and exciting and interesting and looking after children being stressful and mundane, it's a feminist narrative that just doesn't make sense for the vast majority of women.
Who says that, would you say, Mike? Who says, I love going to work because it's lovely and interesting and I get the grey matter tickled from my colleagues, whereas I hate staying at home with the children? How often do women say that?
Well, they don't say it, but what I'm saying is that...
But you did say that they did say it. No, you said that they did say it, so I'm just clarifying whether you're thinking that they did say it or whether that's just your thought process.
Thank you for that. No, it's a relentless feminist narrative that women are fulfilled at work and not in looking after children. But 6 out of 7 women are not work-centred. It's as simple as that. Men and women are different.
Jenny, go.
I object to the fact that you're using feminism as if it's something that only belongs to women. Feminism is about equality for men and women, and it isn't a feminist narrative. We're talking about equality. Equality is about people choosing, and there are many men and many house husbands who are very happy doing just that. Many men who have careers that are creative, they're artists, they're musicians, they look after their children, and they're highly successful at it. And there are many women who are absolutely fabulous in the workplace. And I think the problem is this narrative that you're talking about we've been holding on to it for some time. Please let me finish my point, and then I will be very happy to listen to you. Now, what I'm saying is that from a very young age, and for many years, women have been taught what they should be doing, and then when they, in this day and age, when they want to do something different, we're pulling them back. And I think we need to move on, and you need to move on.
Your turn, Mike.
Very few men want to be very few men want to be house husbands. Fact. And feminism is not about gender equality. It's a female supremacy movement driven by misandry, the hatred of men. As simple as that.
Wow.
And if and you might laugh now. I invite you to the second international conference on men's issues in London in July.
Oh, Jenny, would you like to pick up on that, love, please?
I can say I'm a feminist. My husband is a feminist. I absolutely love men and I love women. And I think we can
he
all
has my sympathies.
be together and work together successfully as family
That
units.
is not a very nice thing to say, Mike. Come on.
It's okay. He doesn't need sympathy. He's a very happy man. But what I'm trying to say is actually we do need to move on, and the shape of what families actually need to look like in the future is not the same. And I think when we hold on to the past, what we do is we make everyone unhappy because we make everyone feel that they don't fit into the box they should do, and so those assumptions weigh heavy and help women and men feel very guilty in their roles. And I, for one, don't want that for people.
The thing that you keep missing is that women say in surveys, working women, that they would rather spend less time at work and more time with their children, and you just cannot get away from that.
So, which surveys are we talking about then?
Well,
hold on a sec.
For God's sake. Every survey of this nature I've read in the last 20 years.
Okay, well, let me just give you... let's just do a quick poll right now, should we? I'm a working mum. I enjoy being a working mum. My son is very well qualified. He has got his degree, and now he's working for himself. We know that Jenny is a working mum, and I'm speaking for her now. She's going to say she's also a happy working mum. So we are the exception that proves the rule, are we?
You are. You are by definition. You are in the group of work-centred women. 1 in 7. 6 out of 7 women are not like you.
Yeah, which poll is this, I'm asking you? And you said, oh, for God's sake, when I asked you, perhaps you could tell me.
I told you it was Dr. Catherine Hackham's preference theory, the year 2000. She showed that 4 out of 7 British men are work-centred.
Do you think things have changed since then?
Oh, right. OK, women are dramatically different today than 16 years ago. Oh, for goodness sake, really, get real.
Would you like to answer that, Jenny?
Oh, well, I think you're very different to how... Yeah, well, I think you yourself, Mike, will be very different to how you were 16 years ago. I know that I am. Things have moved forward. Women are being successful. And actually, all of the research says that women in business, women in the boardroom, makes more ethical organisations, more person-centred organisations, more empathetic organisations. And it will actually, the higher we get, the better the world is, actually. And the more equal organisations are, the better it is a reflection of what the world is.
Well, I'm delighted you've raised women in boardrooms because I also run Campaign for Merit in Business, and we have shown since 2012, and I presented it to House of Lords and House of Commons inquiries, that when you increase the proportion of women on corporate boards, corporate financial performance declines. It is black and white.
Wow.
There's nobody in government. There's nobody in government or elsewhere that is disputing those findings.
Okay, so basically, what you're just to clarify, Mike. Sorry, Jenny, go on.
And I publicly challenge
let Jenny answer the question if you wouldn't mind, please, Mike. Just let Jenny. I know just let her answer the question.
I mean, there's so much research from Credit Suisse and other organisations that begs to differ with you. Real research that's been rigorously undertaken.
All that research, Jenny, shows correlation, and correlation is not causation. You really need to, if you're going to be discussing issues like this, you need to understand what you're talking about, and you very clearly don't.
Honestly, you silly woman, Jenny, you don't know what you're talking about.
I invite you.
I know.
Jenny, I invite you to refute
I should get home and do some washing
findings.
up, shouldn't I?
Seriously, seriously, Mike, you're not doing yourself any favours here. You're just being disparaging about women.
No.
You're telling us that when it's a survey that agrees with your view, then it's a great survey, and when it's a survey that doesn't necessarily agree with what you have to say, then it's not worth the paper it's written on. You can see why perhaps some people are a little bit disappointed with that.
I'm sorry, but you're being pathetic. What I'm talking about are studies that show a causal link between more women on corporate boards and corporate financial decline. It's got nothing to do with you or your feelings.
Jen?
Do you know something, Mike? What I'd like to say is I've been engaging in this conversation, and I don't think I've insulted you once. the way in which you're communicating doesn't help your voice to be heard. And this is why there needs to be more women actually in the workplace, because we're able to communicate, support each other, and actually help people understand our views and bring people along with us. So many people in organisations are unhappy, a lot of men actually, and it's because of the way men are engaging in this world. Now, I'd love to listen, I'd like to listen and understand other people's points of view, and you have one, and I think there will always be people like you who have your point of view, but I think you are becoming the minority. I think you are a minority now.
Jenny, it's not, Jenny, it is not.
Okay, Mike, let me put this point to you if I may. Perhaps I could just put this point to you if I may, Mike. And this is from Joel Taylor, who is a regular contributor to the programme. He's the deputy news editor at the Metro newspaper. He says it's impossible not to laugh at the man on Sky News who's delightfully patronising and rude about working mothers. Do you think that you're being patronising and rude? If I could just finish the question, please. Are you being patronising and rude about working mums, do you think?
Of course I'm not. I'm saying that there are lots of women who are working would rather work fewer hours and spend more time with their children. Fact. And I also, there's a lady over there in the car park who's just said yes. She's put a thumb up.
Oh, well, that'll count.
I challenge you, Jenny.
We'll put those in the next survey.
I challenge you, Jenny. Please, Jenny, I didn't interrupt you, please. I challenge you to refute the evidence that we have on the Campaign for Merit in Business website that shows a causal link between driving up the proportion of women on corporate boards and corporate financial decline. Nobody else has been able to do so in 4 years. I look forward to you doing so.
Jenny?
I would just like to say your research shows that some women would like to be at home more. I think if your research surveyed men also, they'd find that some men would like to be at home more. I think we need to have a balanced view and a balanced discussion, and I don't think that's what you're doing.
Mike, go on.
Sorry, I'm trying to... I mean, I'll make it for the third time. I'm publicly challenging you, Jenny. It's nothing to do with, I'm really almost speechless. I'm asking you to do something. You intimated that more women on boards was a good thing.
Okay, I wonder if we might be able to go back to the topic for today, because obviously you've made your point. I think Jenny feels that she's answered it. We're talking about working mums and whether or not working mums can also be successful mums. You made the point, Mike, that according to your research, most women want to be at home. They don't want to be in the workplace. What would you say to those women who want to do both?
I'd say... No. I'd say that women, more than men, would prefer to spend less time at work and more at home. It's not. I'm not presenting a black and white thing here, but I mean, yes, men would like to spend less time at work, but it's not usually an option for them. It's more often an option for women, and they do take it when it's presented.
Yeah. What would you say? My question is this. Sorry, let me just ask the question, Jenny, if you don't mind. I'll come back to you in just a second. I just wondered, Mike, what your message would be to, I've got a lot of working women and men who are tweeting me just at the moment. We'll share some of those thoughts a bit later on. What would your message be to working mums? Should they think about perhaps not being at work as much? Do you think that their children are suffering?
I think my message would be: don't get bullied by people, by anybody, into doing more work than you feel comfortable with. It really isn't right, surely, that so many women are spending a number of hours at work and feeling guilty because they'd rather be with their children.
What if they're not feeling guilty? What if they're not feeling guilty?
Many are. We know they are.
Yeah, but what about the ones that aren't? What about the ones who aren't? What would you say to them? That's what I'm trying to drill down to here, Mike. What about women who are happy?
Because you're trying to focus, as always, on the 1 in 7 work-centred women. I'm talking about the 6 in 7.
No. And I'm asking you, you've made that point and we've heard you. My question to you, sir, is what about the women who prefer to do both work and feel that they can be a successful mum? Are you saying that they can't and they should look again at that?
I'm saying there has to be a trade-off. At the end of the day, time spent investing in your career is time not spent investing in your children. It really is as simple as that.
Jenny?
I think people should do what they should think about what success looks like for them. And if that means being a stay-at-home mum, great. If that means working your way up the ladder, fabulous. And I think when you do wake up the ladder, you should not... Please, I did not interrupt you, Mike.
Jenny, just keep going, keep going.
I would love that.
On the contrary, you've done it all the way through.
So, when you work your way up the ladder, what you do is you show you are a role model to your children about working. You're a role model to your children about working hard and achieving something and making a difference in the world. And there's more than one way to do it. Whichever way you choose to do it is great. And don't worry about what other people's assumptions and judgments are. Pave your own way, because when you pave your own way, others will follow.
All you've been talking about, Jenny, is what women want. What about what children want? What about what children need?
OK, what do children need, Mike?
I think children need, ideally, their mother rather than a stranger bringing them up.
What about their father?
Well, of course, but, fathers, the lot of fathers is generally to work, to support a family.
Ah, I see.
I mean, there's very few women that will support a man, a house husband, very few.
Jenny?
In terms of the numbers, a third of mums in the UK earn the same or more as their partner or are single parents. So, in terms of statistics, there are so many women out there who are earning the same, who are supporting their families, and some of them doing that on their own. And I think we really need to understand these numbers, and understand that many women are working hard and actually really loving it. Because if you have to work, or you do work, why not make the most of it? Why not enjoy it? Why not make sure it makes a really positive difference in the world?
Final word to you, Mike.
I'm sorry?
Final word to you, Mike.
OK. There's a lot of evidence to say that children do better when they spend a lot of time with their parents.
Do better at what? Do better at what? Just to clarify, do better at what, Mike?
Well, in life outcomes, all sorts of life outcomes.
Okay.
In terms of qualifications, drug taking, a whole host of outcomes.
OK, just to say, my son is now 23. He has an honours degree from the London School of Economics with Politics and has a very well-paid job. And I'm a single mum. What would you say to him?
OK, so this is all about you.
No, I'm just responding to your point about working mums and kids not doing as well. It's pathetic.
It is pathetic just to hurl in personal anecdotes as if they mean anything.
OK, it's great to talk to both of you. Thank you very much.
Something?
Jenny, I'm so sorry we're out of time, but next time, hopefully you both come back very soon indeed. Thanks a lot.